Welcome to Rural Route 2. We are now at the end of June and we have had some beautiful humid weather, and we actually have just had a ton of rain over the last couple of days. Actually, it's been a little bit stormy with tornado warnings. Even that had come out last night, but nothing ever came about as far as tornadoes where we live, so that is fortunate. So I thought I'd present the garden from this side today, just a little bit of a different view compared to normal. I have lettuce growing really nicely, 4 different varieties in this first row. I don't know the names of all of them, but this one over here, this one here, and this one here are from Bessie's Seed Company, and then this one over here is from a dollar store seed packet. And they all look very lovely. I love to cut the lettuce and give it away to people that I know. Oh, there we have a little rabbit. Somebody has stuck in the garden. In the next row were carrots. However, that is mostly weeds, but here's a nice little grouping of carrots. I went along and thinned these out just to give the carrots a better chance at growing. And they look like they're doing very well. The beets are in the next row there, and I've done the same thing with the beets. I've thinned them out so that they are spaced nicely between one another, and that seems to have helped them grow. Now this rain too has also helped. I planted some beans in the next garden because I had originally planted some cauliflower and cabbage, but nothing came up, and I don't know if it was the seeds or if it was the planter, me, or what the reason is, but I got some beans planted in, and they've actually come along nicely and are almost matching the beans back there in size. The breeze has picked up again. And then just a little bit of spinach down further, which is quite lovely. We've got pumpkins next, but you can see these, what I think are called cucumber beetles, all over the plants. And look at the mess they are creating. So that's exactly what they do. They just fall when you go to squish them and fly away. So they're very difficult to get rid of. If anybody has any secrets on that, I would love to hear it. Here's that sunflower that I showed you that has a split in it that I thought would never ever survive. But it's doing quite well. Pepper plants with peppers growing underneath there. Nice peppers. I'll wait a little bit longer before I pick that one. I've been fertilizing these with just a little mix, maybe once every 1 to 2 weeks. It's a water-soluble mix, and they seem to like that. When they were inside, I dissolved some Epsom salts for the magnesium in water and gave them that to drink every 3 weeks or so. They seem to like that as well. Then I've got some cucumbers, and the cucumbers are having the same problem as the pumpkins as far as those bugs everywhere. So these were planted a little bit later, and the idea is that they will grow up this trellis here. There's a zucchini. We laid down some straw because we've been noticing some extra weeds popping up here and there. We'll just have to spread this straw out as it all kind of just got piled in the garden yesterday. Here's an example of the plant climbing up, though this seems to have grown quite a bit since yesterday, and I typically encourage growth up the plant like this, although these guys are holding on to one another. So just have to pull that apart a bit and get that through there. But that's what they do, and they eventually come up and all the way around. So just a little bit on squash, if you're unfamiliar. See, look at, there's so many bugs inside that flower. Look at them. Oh, it's just terrible. I'll have to get the kids to come around and we end up squishing those bugs. But this is a female flower, and you can tell by this part of the flower here, and there is also a little piece of fruit right here. So that the female flowers are the ones that carry the fruit. Now these bugs, I've never seen them so bad. Oh, see, they just kind of disappear, and here are a bunch more down on this flower. So there's also ants in there. I'm just a little concerned that our crop may not do so well because of those bugs, so I do need to figure out a way to make them go away. Here are the beans. No signs of any flowers yet, they're not quite ready. We've got more cucumbers over here that are starting to climb the trellis. But again, the bugs are just being very problematic. These are pole beans that have popped up and are going to climb up the trellis as well. Looks like there have been a few bugs into them too. So we've actually harvested a cucumber off of here. I like to harvest them when they're small. It actually encourages more fruit to develop. And if we look over here, I can see, where is that cucumber that I saw? This little guy here. So when they're this early, I do like to clip them initially and encourage the plant to produce more. What I've read and what I've heard over the years is that if you clip, it's kind of contrary to what I originally thought, but the idea of the plant is that it wants to create seed, and if you clip the fruit early, it encourages more fruit to grow, because eventually that will lead to more seed. So that's what I've been doing, and in the last couple of years that has given me a good yield. So I'm super sad about how these leaves look. They do not look very healthy because of bugs. Got some onions growing up here. They look good. Again, the squash here is suffering. I'm not sure if this is squash actually or cucumbers, but it looks to me like it could be squash. Maybe it's both. My labels tend to walk some of the children, particularly the 2-year-old. I like to pick up the spoons that I have labeled and move them. There's some beautiful daylilies back here. I'm not familiar with all of these types of flowers, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to have this side of the garden be perennials. These really require no work on my part. And some beautiful flowers. We get to enjoy some beautiful flowers along the way. Here are the strawberry plants, which still look very, very lovely. Still producing fruit. Here's a nice strawberry here. Flip that again. And I've got more cucumbers over here. We love to make pickles. And so anywhere where plants didn't come up along a trellis, I just went in and planted more cucumbers. So again, the bug problem, and I do think that this little guy here is a cucumella that has come up. This guy, but again, those bugs are just devastating the garden. And look at them. Oh, I just think that's disgusting. Now over here to the tomatoes, which I'm happy to report are doing quite well in these grow bags. I did a video on the grow bags. If you're interested, you can watch that. But we've got lots of nice fruit developing. We had quite a windstorm last night, so you can see this plant here is on a bit of a slant. So I will need to support these tomato plants the same way that those are supported with the string line going across. They're just getting quite heavy up top. But lots of different fruit is showing up. Oh, I just love that. We like to make our own sauce and like can it. And we like to make salsa. And the kids really enjoy the process of that. Look at the beautiful San Marzanos in there. It's quite rewarding to grow a garden and see all the fruit developing and getting bigger and growing as it should. But my goodness, the pests in the garden can certainly feel overwhelming and discouraging. I was just gonna show, right there is a piece of gardening tape, and it's just like Velcro that you can peel off and put back on, and that is how I anchor my plants. I do the same over here for the plants climbing up the trellis. There's a lot of growth on all of these, and so I'm happy to report that. They're getting quite high, up to the 6 feet of the bamboo height, which is quite nice to see. And I've got more peppers here that have more flowers, and we're going to see more fruit developing and growing, like in here. You can see them there. Lots of little romas on that tomato plant, so there you have it. That is our garden update. I didn't make it over to the two little gardens that belong to two of my children, but they're doing pretty good too. There's one. Got flowers, and we got cucumbers, it looks like. So I hope this Sunday morning finds you well.